Strike a chord, turn the future on. Ava Bently's heart still sings every song. From broken silence to a brand new sound. Strike a chord where her comeback's found.
What if I told you one medical mistake could steal your voice? I'm Ava Bently. I sang for fun, dreaming of country stages. Then a devastating medical error damaged my vocal cords, and sometime later, heart failure silencing that dream in an instant. But I refused to let that be the end of my story. I discovered something revolutionary, AI, that could bring my music to life. Today, I'm not just singing again, I'm shaping history as an AI-powered female country artist. Using cutting-edge AI tools, I craft lyrics, shape melodies, and produce fully realized songs from my ideas. Collaborating with technology the way an artist collaborates with a producer. My musicianship guides every choice. My voice was taken, but my artistry found a new way to soar. This isn't just about tech, it's about my resilience, reinvention, and the power of creativity to overcome loss, even heart failure. My story shows how innovation can amplify the human spirit and open doors I never imagined. Ready to hear what the future of country music sounds like? Stream my AI-created songs on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, and all major platforms. Then share, follow, and become part of the next chapter in music history. Don't just witness history, listen to it.
So anyway,
Yeah.
girl, how are you? Let's talk about you and what you got going on. And we're going to talk about some of the work we did together not too long ago. And I'm
Mhm.
assuming you're back home now from your trip, and maybe we can set up some time to help you do some more stuff. So tell us about Miss Cherry. Who are you? Tell us everything.
Well, Miss Cherry is a solo artist and a artist that has formed and created my own genre of music,
Mm.
which I call sensual soul. And sensuatic is the title of the genre. And
Okay.
sensuatic, yeah, basically means um, it's about love music. It's everything is about just love. Without love, we have nothing. We are all as one and created upon love. So
Yeah.
um, I want to showcase my music by giving love back into the world and putting love back in the world. I feel like it's a lot of people that are missing that right now, especially
Yeah.
it's a lot going on in the world. And
I
so,
do.
yeah, that's lost, and I want to regain that. So, sensualic is all about love. It's about um, it's exotic, sensual music, and it can be erotic as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. I got the chance to work with Miss Cherry. We were working on some AI music together. I was giving her a training class, and I got to really explore some sensual soul music and even create my own sensual soul song, which I thought turned out pretty good. But I have a huge appreciation now for sensual soul music and just how it is very good. It is, I felt, like it was very, very love-making music, if you will. It was very sensual and a bit erotic. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And so, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't listen to it because I love like it reminds me of like Sade or something in that realm, a little different but kind of similar. And I love that kind of music. So I'm a huge fan already, and I'm glad I got to play around a little bit and learn from you a little bit also when we did our training session. And so I think you're onto something. I think the music is um, beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And you're right. It does bring love. There's a certain feeling you get, when you listen to it. And I only really kind of got, I think, just a glimpse of it, from, one of the sessions that we did with the training. But I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of your new genre of music. And I think it's wonderful.
Okay. So it's like freeing your mind and human nature. It's human nature. You know,
Yeah,
you create your own visual. You had fun with it. You created a beautiful song.
I know, I did, and I love that song. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I did go back and put it in the country genre, but I like, I created three of them, and I really loved it. So even the one I did that was the sensual soul, I was a fan of it. But but since I'm not a sensual soul artist, I had to kind of go back to my country roots. But don't rest assured, I've saved that sensual soul. I might be listening to it in the secret. See, um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it, it, it's for everybody. It's for
it is.
everyone. It
Yeah.
is.
I think you're onto
So,
something there. So, what are your
yeah.
plans? We've played a little bit with AI, music, and I'm doing some training with that. What are your thoughts now that you've seen it a little bit? And I know we have some more, work to do, but what are your thoughts right now of maybe, doing some creation in AI? And that doesn't mean your final output is AI, but what are your thoughts about that and what we did with that training?
Well, being a traditional artist and what you showed me is just, it's solving complex challenges,
Mm,
because that AI is an accelerated solution for like accelerating creativity. It's collaborating tools and it helps to, break through a writer's block. And that actually
yeah,
helps me because it can help anyone, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But you know, it automates mixing and mastering and task production. And Ava, I went through a lot. It costs a
Mm-hmm.
lot to go into production and
I
go into the
know.
studio and record. And and the AI actually solves a lot of those
Hmm.
problems. It allows both seasoned professional and beginners to turn ideas into polished songs.
Make a
Yeah.
very valid point. And,
Yeah.
for traditional artists, this is a great way to, test some ideas on a song and before you ever go into the studio, and you can save some money by, kind of getting closer to that final draft of a song. And then when you go into studio, you have a pretty good idea of what that song blueprint is. And you still may make adjustments. I would say, even in the AI space, I listen to my song, it sounds great. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy with it. And then I might let it marinate for a couple days. And I come back, like, you know what? Maybe I don't like it as much as I thought I did. I think it needs a little bit more spicing up. So I make it more spicy. And so that may be what you do in the studio too. You get in there and it sounds like, you think you got that final output, but you may want to do some more remastering once you get in the studio. Because the sky's the limit with what we can do, in
Exactly.
this space. And I think the key thing to me, the key takeaway, for anybody who's looking at a traditional artist, looking at, AI, as I want to continue to educate people, is a tool. It is
Yes.
not, there is
Cool.
no special, digital being back there behind, the scenes, like in The Wizard of Oz, creating something. No, these are human, humans that are touching this tool, that are feeding it the input, and that are working towards mastering the output. AI is merely just a platform and the tool that we're using to help accelerate the process, help fuel creativity, and then help get to, a blueprint of what might be, soon the final, output of the song. But there's so much human touch to it that I think people don't understand. And you being a traditional artist, and now that you see it, now you get a better, view of what it actually is. So you can, try different things with AI just to get a feel for what that might sound like. And that doesn't mean you'll stay with, that full scope of it, but you might hear an instrument and say, you know what? If I put
Oh, I
that in
need
my
that.
first version, that will sound incredible. And you might not have thought about it if AI hadn't have done some mix mastering and put that in, or if you hadn't suggested it and it put it together in a way that it sounded just like really awesome, you wouldn't have thought of putting it in there.
Yeah, because I did the violin and I just love that sound. It's
I
got a
know
sensual sound to it.
it
I'm getting ready
does.
to just start some I'm doing some guitar lessons as well right now.
Okay.
And I do those on Sunday.
Okay.
And so I'm learning about some different instruments that I want to just, include into my music. Because a lot of, people tell me that, I sound like Prince, Sade, like you said, Janet
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, Sylvia Robinson, just, to name a few,
Mm-hmm.
female artists, Madonna. Um, yeah, so there's a couple
Yeah.
of them out there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Well, it's exciting. In fact, I'm getting ready to take guitar lessons too because I want to be able to play guitar with some of my songs on stage, and so we got that in common too, Miss Cherry. I haven't signed up for the lessons yet. In fact, I was going to go out tomorrow and look for a guitar that I feel like will fit me because I'm kind of small. Like my hands are small, so I need maybe a little bit of a smaller guitar that I could work with. But I was going to go guitar shopping this weekend. And then there's a place not too far from me that does offer music lessons. So I was going to sign up for that once I, pick my guitar.
that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be
Hmm.
awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
I'm
have
trying to
I'm
have
gonna have
more
a
instruments when I do my concerts,
yeah.
so that I want to pull more of that traditional component into my performances. Because as you know, I'm a mixed reality and, for reasons because of my vocal cord damage, but I am kind of holding my
Yeah.
own on the
Mhm.
stage. I'm really happy. I've had a few, little mishaps with singing. No one noticed, I know
You
that my vocal
right.
cords aren't yet holding out, but I did get auto tune. I got all that set up for me. So when they do slip, it's really even less noticeable, to people. So if I can bring in instrument elements, that only gives me, some more props to have on stage for entertaining because I'm a solo artist, at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So that makes it, I've got to really work hard for their entertainment factor.
But you got it, girl. You got it. You're at the top of the charts. You just like me, and you're doing your thing, and I love you for it. And I'm pleased and honored to have met you, and you
I know, the
inspire
same
me a lot
here, girl.
too.
The same here,
You
girl. That's why I
inspire
want to
me a
help
lot too.
you and, help you expedite, the work you're doing. So let me ask you, tell me what's next for Miss Cherry.
So yeah, my dreams and ideals is to have, I know a, a cherry like logo. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what it's going to be yet, so I'm not
Okay.
going to let you know in on that. Some things I just want to kind of hold back and not speak
Sure.
on, but
Yeah.
I want to be all around the world in the adult bookstores where you go and
Okay.
purchase your novelties. You also could purchase
Yeah.
my music, and take
Mm-hmm.
that in the room and shut the door and create your own visual or
Yep.
whatever you want to do.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
so awesome. So awesome. And I can see it.
And can you see it?
I
Thank
can
you.
visualize what you're talking about completely, completely. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. And it's unique. It is
yeah.
unique.
Thank
I
you.
am a big supporter of that. That's kind of like you, I've got like my own little vision of things in my genre. And you kind of have to you got to keep those close to the chest for various reasons, right? But I think what you're doing is it's just awesome, girl. I love it. I'm one of your biggest fans. I am.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. And because traditionally what we're used to is when we go to concerts and things like that, we're going to take something away with us that reminds us a memorandum.
Hmm.
I think I said that correctly. That reminds us of that artist. And I
Yeah.
just want that, to be able to have that where like you can have a poster, you can have a t-shirt or some type of novelty or item, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's what I'm looking forward to creating. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they took it away. They took this soundtracks, I mean, like the cassette tapes, CDs, those things. But those things mean a lot, especially when you go down to a concert, you're spending like hundreds, maybe 1,000, and you have
Yeah.
nothing to take away. And then, you know, the mind only can hold so much and remember so
Mm-hmm.
much. And
Yeah.
you want to be able to look at that artist. You know, I love that artist. You have that love and that compassion for that artist,
Mm-hmm.
but you also have something that you can say, hey, I have this from Miss Cherry's concert, Miss Ava
Yeah.
concert. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Like, what are these people selling? Like, what is at their merch table? And it's, it's your traditional t-shirts. They may
Posters.
have some CDs. I really hadn't seen posters, but I see things like hats, magnets, different things like that. But I think kind of thinking outside of the box and
To have
thinking
posters
about what
instead
would
of
be
artists.
unique,
Mm.
that would be a takeaway. I hadn't seen anything that moved my mountain, on these merch tables. And so I've been trying to think about, okay, well, I know I got to have t-shirts, and I've been trying to think of, because with my Sassitude album coming out and I've got a slogan and all that, and I've already designed the t-shirt and I think it looks good. It's a little different than the one you may have seen around. So it's going to be slightly different. But it's going to have my own little stamp on it with my cool slogan. But I like you. I've been trying to think like, what else do I have at this merchant table that really motivates people to want to take away CDs? I kind of got a mixed feeling about that. I've got those new little thumbsticks. They're like a USB drive with my music, and some people will like those. So the newer generation will like those, but I'm also going to have fans that are, that's going to cross the different generations. They might be more fans of CDs and, quite frankly, vinyl. I've almost, I'm thinking about doing some vinyl. Not a large quantity of it, but I hear it's making a comeback. I can also see where vinyl would fit your genre also, because people, I can kind of think somebody's got a groovy, record player at home, and, some vinyl with some, cool, artwork on it would be very sensual too. So anyway, I'm looking at, that space right now. At concerts that I've gone to, I haven't seen any vinyl, but I'm hearing hearsay that it's making a comeback. And, I don't know about posters. I do have autographed pictures. You may have seen those, that I have. So, just trying to figure out what's good at a merch table. But I'm with you. Like, what are some of those, things that people would be, driven to buy because they were so, motivated by, the concert that you performed, and they want to take something, a memento away, that reminds them of that night and, that experience. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get into this new generation of how what and things that we could create that they would love to have. There would
Hmm.
be memorable things that they can cherish and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I went there too," or "I have it on the wall," or and share it because
Yes.
it's all about the computer now and it's about AI. It's a new generation, and we gotta figure that out. Somebody's gonna come along and say, "Hey, Ava, Miss Terry, I got what you need."
I
After
know.
they,
I know. And I
and I'm
am
looking forward
open.
to that. I'm
Yeah,
open
me
for it.
too. Me too. I'm very open to that because we don't know everything. And
No, we
I'm
don't.
always looking for great ideas and
Mhm.
collaboration. And, I
Yeah,
think, I talk to you and I talk to, other artists, whether they're traditional or AI. And I learned so much, from talking to all these different artists. And I think that's how we all grow. And at the end of the day, we're artists. And in
that's
my
true.
case, we're in different genres. And so, whatever, if I learn something that's really cool, I am all about sharing that. I don't need to keep that in. I don't, when I'm working or collaborating with other artists, I don't see them as competitors. I see us as, we're united as one, and we're all in the same space. And at the end of the
Mhm.
day, you're doing your concert and your thing, and I'm doing my concert and my thing. And a lot of times we have different audiences. Well, that's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean don't need to, share something or want to share something with you. If I would say, you know what, this would help make, Miss Cherry more successful. don't hold that in. I feel like, if I'm growing and I'm learning something and I share that, I'm helping others, grow and be
Absolutely.
successful. We don't have to do this in isolation. We can do this in a united front. We're all artists at the end of the day, and we're all trying to make a living at this. And there's no reason we can't all be successful because music, there's so much that comes with music, different genres and styles. And, I don't know about you, but for me, I don't just like one genre. I like a lot of them, all of them. I'm always so open to that. That's how we grow. That's how we
That's
learn.
how you
That's how we
know.
appreciate.
You can get bored
Yeah,
with the same thing, doing too much of the same. And one of my producers
exactly.
told me that, well, you're gonna have to learn which one you want to stick with. I'm like, but I was just feeling this, like I did a lot of sensual songs, and then I came up with a song called Boss Up, and it's inspiring, like
Yeah.
if you're in the situation and you're feeling down, this song lifts you up, make you feel like
Mm.
you can
Yeah,
accomplish it. You can do this, and I don't
I
feel
love
like
it.
be locked into just one thing, but like you're opening the door for lots of other people to come in with your disability or and then they can also achieve the same thing. So what you're doing is amazing. It's amazing. So it's opening other doors for people that think that they can't, but they can. They can achieve it.
Right,
Because
exactly.
you're showing them that they can. You
Yeah,
walk your vocals, yeah, and you're still making music, and I love
right.
that. I love
No,
that.
thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
In fact, I had a little girl who's been following me and has become a fan, and she suffers from a disability, and she says, "I wish I could be, a full-time music artist." And I said, "Well, maybe one day you will, because anything is possible." And I
Anything
know
is
that just,
possible.
made her feel good. And it's like she sung a national anthem at a ballpark, and she's got a disability. And so I'm like, you can do this. I'm 100% of a supporter, that anything in the world's possible. If you dream it, you can be it.
Can be it.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
then, like me being and having my own genre of music, it was always my dream to create something different because they always told me, what really stands out is something that's different. What you're doing, Ava, is something different. What I'm doing is something different. We're different, doing different music. You do country,
Hmm.
and I do created my own sensual soul music.
Hmm.
And as Prince inspired me, greatness
Yeah.
in me, really. He inspired two of my songs, to be honest with you. And
Hmm.
they're on my first album, but I've always wanted to be the first to create it something new and different,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there was always someone that created country, the first artist
Hmm.
that may have created it or been known for it, blues, rap,
Yep.
pop, um, soul music, blues,
Hmm.
R&B, and I want to be the first to create sensualic music, sensual soul
Yeah.
music.
And
So
I think
yeah,
you have. And like I said,
I've,
I'm a
I've done it.
I'm a huge fan. And if you haven't heard Miss Cherry's music and just how good it is, you are going to be awakened to some sensual soul. And I love it. And so tell us, where can we find your music?
Well, it's on all major media platforms. You just, put my name in, MS. Here we go. Miss Cherry, Cherry, and the title of the music is Sensuatic. It's spelled Sensual, the word sensual, and then OTIC.
Sensuality.
I created
Sensuality.
that word too. I created
I
that
love
word.
it. I
Yeah.
I love it. So you're nailing it. You really are doing you're in your own lane, Miss Cherry, and I love it. I'm a huge fan. Thank you for coming on the show. What about social media? Can we find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on social media as well. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
on all major platforms.
So
And
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Are you on
Facebook,
YouTube?
Instagram, Apple Music, YouTube. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there anything else you want us to know before we
Spotify.
wrap up?
Also Spotify. Yeah, Spotify too.
Okay.
Um, I can't really think of anything else. But yeah, when you do log on to listen to my music worlds, look out for me and give me thumbs up and support me by sharing. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll share some of Miss Cherry's music on the show as well. So thank you for coming on the show. And we've got another training session coming
Yes,
up whenever we can get some time to do that so I can help you continue on with your AI journey and music creation. And so I'm looking forward to that and hearing about your guitar lessons because you're a little bit ahead of me on that. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to learn how you're progressing along.
Feel my body, baby. I wanna make love to you all.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
But a spark lit up in a dashboard glow, a new way back to every note. Strike a chord, turn the future on. Ava Bently's heart still sings every song. From broken silence to a brand new sound. Strike a chord.